Did the trade take you and shock you maybe as much as everybody else?
I definitely would say that it did. It's just a lot to process. You know, you start off in New York in your career, and next thing you know, I'm here today. But I'm very thankful for the opportunity, you know, to be here. Kind of the past is in the past. It was definitely a shock. I think I've come to grips with everything and processed everything, as it was a lot. But to see my guys here, I'm excited about this.
What is your reaction to going from the big city of New York to Cleveland? I mean, culturally, what will that be like for you?
I don't know. I have to check it out when I get here. But, yeah, the city is definitely different. But at the end of the day, when you're in season, you just focus on playing ball anyway. So I'm sure it'll be a little different, but you make home anywhere.
Can you go through when you first found out that you were traded and maybe perhaps the next few minutes after?
It's hard to explain. I can't even put it into words. I was heading to dinner, and I remember just seeing Gettleman calling, and I knew something was going down, and I picked up the phone, you know, took the call. All right, was quiet for a minute at dinner, and it just was a lot. I don't even know how else to describe it, but it's just a lot of emotions, a lot of thoughts, you know, that run through your mind. Your whole life's changing. Still the same in theory, but it's changing. So I just took it to process. I think I called my mom, you know, called this man, and here we are today.
What are your thoughts about being on a team with these guys up there with you?
I mean, I feel like we spoke this into existence almost. Like him and I dreamed of this. You know, this is something we talked about at 17. You know, I'm gonna live right down the street from you. We're gonna be on the same team, everything. Like, and it's like surreal.
How good can you guys be, man?
First of all, this is the most people we've had in this room ever.
By far.
I mean, glad you guys showed up. No, you know what? Something that needs to be, you know, set forth for our team mindset-wise is, you know, everybody's going to say that we could be and should be Super Bowl contenders. Yeah, we know that. Every person that plays in the NFL should believe that. But I've always firmly believed you set your own expectations. Nobody else really matters. No offense to you guys. You can write all you want about what we have, but if we don't set goals for ourselves and believe in those and work for it, it doesn't really matter.
Myles, you lived through 0 and 16. To go from that to where you're sitting today, can you just process everything that's going on here lately?
I mean, like Freddie said, you know, we're good on paper. You know, everything looks good. Everything looks tight, you know, on offense and defense. But, you know, until we go out there and prove it, until we go out and win each and every day, you know, it's just words right now, just thoughts.
You said you spoke this into existence, and you guys have dreamed about this. So what made it sort of hard at first, you know, to come to grips with and to kind of wrap your mind around
It's just
that?
life. It's such a sudden change, you know, and I don't know. It just is. It's hard to explain. Of course, I'm happy my guys here, but at the same time, you build a relationship with the teammates and those other guys on that team, and that's really what is the hardest thing, you know. Like seeing Saquon and Shep the other night, and like, you know, we were all like, damn, it's just different. So it's really the guys in the locker room. It's the people that you go to war with, and you wake up in training camp, and you go through all those things with. That's really what makes it so hard. But now I get an opportunity to meet new guys, new friends. So it's very exciting.
What are your immediate plans? When will you be back? And why did you think it was important to be here today?
I mean, it's just the first day. It's just, you know, we want to set the tone. I don't know exactly my off-season plans. You know, I usually train in LA, but I definitely want to be able to be here and create that bond, that relationship with the new teammates, coaches, everybody, just so you can kind of see, you know, who I am exactly. But I just thought it was important to be here today. I know he was going to be here. He said he was going to be here, so I had to come see my guys.
There could be an outside perception about you that you're me first in some ways. Why is that wrong?
It's just wrong. I don't know how else to explain it. Like,
he's here today, and I think that shows that.
You know, it's just hard. It's hard to, I know, I see all the stuff that's said and everything, and I think one of my biggest problems is that I care, but I don't care at the same time because I know who I am. So nothing that's said about me is ever going to bother me because I know who I am, you know, and I just stick to that. I went to a school, we were running the ball like 60 plays out of 72, and we blocked every day in practice, so my mentality was never me first. You know, of course, we're receivers. We want to catch the ball. We want to score touchdowns. But, you know, I tell him, you get the post route. I'll get the corner. Like, that's how we worked. It's something different. Something different.
What is it like for you to be around not only Juice again, but a guy like Baker who has that passion to play that way?
I mean, I've known this guy for a little bit of time, too. When we train in L.A., feel like we've talked about, being here, and then it's here. So it's just, it's hard for me to put into words being here today, but I'm just thankful for the opportunity.
We talked to Jarvis last year, and he wanted this possibility to happen. Even over the last, 9-10 months, was this always in the back of your head that you could wind up here? Was that good with you?
Of course, if I wanted to be anywhere else, I'd be playing alongside my brother. Like, this is, like I said, since the day we met, we talked about, all right, I'm going to the same school as you. Where are we going? He had different offers. I didn't have all the same offers he had. But it was like, where are you going? I'm going there. Like, this is, and I tell people all the time, I was like, he made me who I am today. Like, he's taken me to a level of this greatness, this is legendary stuff that we talked about. It's because of him. So, I mean, there's no better place for me to be but here.
You were the first guy to mention this last May when you were talking about this dream or this possibility. Did you really believe it was possible back then? And then what are your thoughts now that you guys are reunited?
I mean, I didn't know for sure if it was possible. I was hoping in the back of my mind that obviously it would be possible. And then I guess a couple weeks ago the ball kind of got rolling on it, and I mean, I kind of got the phone call before, maybe a little bit before everybody that, that it had went through, the trade had went through, and I mean, I just cried. I called him. I talked to John. I cried with John. Cried with Freddie. I know for me, it's something that not only as a player, but as a person, he's definitely somebody that my life needs. So. It's more than an honor to take the field with him again, So.
What were your first impressions of Freddie Kitchens, Odell?
I love him. I gave him a big hug. I guess he told me he loved me, and we just went from there. But he's just straightforward. It's just authentic, from what I could tell at the moment. Obviously, only time will tell in every aspect of life. So, just first impressions, I'm very excited about the whole. I just feel a different energy, when I stepped off the plane, and then coming here to see it's love, and that's something that we based ourselves on our entire lives is love, and you could definitely feel that when you walk in. So I'm looking forward to it.
Jarvis, Freddie, when he was in here, was talking a lot about team building and bringing you guys together, and he said what Myles said, that it looks good on paper, but it's more than that. But when you look on paper for now, right, when you look at the roster and the guys on this team, what do you think of that? What do you think of the potential of the talent on this team?
It's definitely there, Obviously, we see it, as blatant as everybody else does. But, as Baker stated, and Myles and Freddie, it's obviously it's going to take a lot of hard work. We're going to, in any season, in every season, teams are going to face hard roads. Things are going to happen throughout the season, but we have to trust each other. We have to hold each other accountable. And I think down the road, I think the leadership that we have, obviously sitting up in here, but that's in the locker room with other guys, Demarius Randall, Larry, Ogunjobi. The list goes on. Even the young leadership that we have. I think that those things, once they start stepping to the forefront, for us through those hard times to get us through, I think we can definitely be successful. But we definitely have to put the work in. It's not going to be handed to us.
Did you react when you first saw the news that they traded for Odell? What was your reaction? I mean, you were the guy that said before the draft, if there was anyone who could turn this thing around here, it was going to be you. And then a year later, Odell's here?
As you can imagine, pretty excited. No, it was one of those things that, like O said, it's one of those things you can't put into words to describe it correctly. I had two people at the house sitting there when I found out. I just started screaming, just yelling like you would have thought I was on the field on game day. Just exciting, you know what? Because it's the potential. It's knowing exactly who he is and knowing what type of guy he is. I mean, his play and his ability speaks for itself. But then, you know what? The things that we talked about all throughout last year of what we need, the types of guys we need in this locker room to go in the right direction, and that's the best thing that it's about. That he's a team guy, and he's going to be a great presence for us in this locker room.
Baker, there's only one ball. It's going to be in your hands. How do you keep everyone locked in and not worried about getting their share?
They're team oriented. They want to win. Probably just close my eyes and throw it and hope one of them catches it. No, I'm not worried about that. They know I'm going to do my job, and I hope they trust me to do that.
Can you just talk about when you may have sensed that Odell was still processing this a little bit? You know, did you, and I'm sure Jarvis that you might have done this too, did you kind of get on the phone with him a little bit and help get him pumped up and fired up about what you guys hope to do here?
No. You know, I called him and talked to him. The thing we kept saying was this can't be real.
This can't be real.
But no, I knew that's hard and difficult. You know what? I went through something somewhat similar, not even close to spending years in New York like he did, but spending a semester at Texas Tech with a football team, then having to leave. He's exactly right. It's leaving those brothers that you work so hard with. That's the hard part. And so that just takes time. But then once he's here, you know that all is going to take care of itself because of the type of locker room we have.
How did you guys form your relationship?
Sterling Shepard, playing with Sterling in college, and then him being in New York.
Off right away.
Definitely.
Dancing
together. Now I got somebody who's gonna show me up dancing, so I got to get my moves back right.
One of the hardest parts about getting traded often is you don't get to pick where you get to go. So when you get told that you're going to Cleveland Browns, maybe aware that you were on the trading block, when you first heard that it was the Browns, is that the team that you would have picked if you got to have a say in where you would be traded?
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm here, so it doesn't. You know, you don't. This is a different league. We don't get to pick where we go. I feel like there's no way God would have led me here to not be here for a reason, if that makes sense. But again, he came over here last year, and I joked with him like, "Oh, I'm coming," like, you know, like just messing with him, even though we never thought that we'd be here. And like I said, I've watched this team from afar. Like, you know, everyone talked about them going 1-31 or whatever it was, and how each year they were building, they were stacking players. They go get him, they just stacking, and now it's like it's finally here, and I'm excited to be a part of something like this, a team that has been ascending and kind of just changing this culture, starting with him and him changing the culture into a winning culture. That's all I care about is winning. You know, you talk about one ball, he might throw it to him, he might lateral it to me, and I might, you know, that's just, it's a possibility. We don't get yelled at, but it's just how it is, man. I think, like I said, as it all settled in, I'm very excited about this, and I think that it's going to be one of the best things that ever happened to me in my life.
Jarvis, you played a big role in Odell making the trip. What was that pitch like? And Odell, what kind of sold you on Cleveland?
So, no, I mean, I say I know, you know, I shared some text messages with just about, you know, it was tough for me too, you know, making the transition, you know, when you play in a place and you feel like you've given your all, or you have given your all, you know, to one place, and, you know, it ends so quickly, you know, and sometimes without a say, you know, but I know since the moment that I stepped up here and you guys were sitting here too, and I was smiling, I remember the first question you asked me was, you know, do you think it's going to be any different? Like, we've had guys in here before, like, you know, and I told you it will be, you know, And as the year went on, you guys lightened up a little bit, you know, but at the same time, you know, I think, pause. But at the same time, I think, you know, it's something what I told O is just that, you know, the love and the appreciation, you know, of everybody that worked in this building, you know, from top to bottom. It's something that made me feel so comfortable, you know, the way it feels like family here. And I told him that he would appreciate that. He would appreciate that he can come here and honestly just be himself. And people would love him for that, you know. And I mean, that was my pitch, you know. That was it.
So you're used to New York, and you spend a lot of time in LA, and here you are again in the land. The fact that, and you've been here for obviously for Cavs games and stuff like that. The fact that LeBron James was here and he was a superstar here in Cleveland, did that ever enter your mind that, you know, that you can be that right here?
I mean, at the end of the day, I know where I'm at in life. I don't need to be in New York. I don't need to be in LA. I could be in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. It doesn't matter where I'm at. I've created this what I would call a legacy. So it never really crossed my mind like, oh, going to Cleveland or worrying about marketing or worrying about any of that. I care about football. I care about winning. Like all the extra. I didn't step into this game to be famous. I didn't, you know, that's just what fell into my lap. But we talked about legendary. We talked about a legacy. We talked about gold jackets. That's our conversations. It never was about no money. It never was about any of that. It's about being a legend. And I think that, you know, this is our everyday life. We do this every single day. Y'all come in here and we ask questions and we're up here answering. But I think this moment is going to be more iconic than we all realize right now. You know, that's what we'd want the goal to be. You know, to look back in 10 years and be like, man, I remember it's today, April 1st, 2019, like the start of something great. You know, and I'm just happy to be a part of that.
You're known obviously as a passionate player, but is being traded add any fuel to your fire?
That's all I can tell you.
Yeah. You played in Cleveland before. Did you enjoy it when you were here? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I got a lot of love from the fans when I was here. That's what I asked them about. How was it? And that's just one thing we talk about is love, you know. And just to see that kind of culture is different. It's just different. Yeah, it's just different.
Odell has a reputation back in New York of being one of the hardest working players. He's the hardest working practice player and obviously in games as well. How do you think he can affect the tone and the way the locker room is here in Cleveland?
Oh, he'll get a run for his money on the competitive work ethic nature. But that's what we know what type of guy we're getting. But that's why I say it's great for the locker room and the impact that he can have with who he is as a person speaks much more than anything he will ever do on the field. It just that's the big difference when you bring in guys like that. That's why it's such a big deal to us, and that's why we're all excited and pumped up, and that's important.
The players you guys have now and the way you got to know Freddie over the second half of last season, Freddie Kitchens as a first-year coach, what does he need to do to bring out the best in you guys to help set a tone for this team to come together and build a winning team here?
I think Freddie needs to continue to be himself. You know, everything that he stood for last year when he was the interim offensive coordinator was about being up front, holding each other accountable, working hard, working for us, and being just up front about everything. And I think just to set the tone with everybody, a lot of the defensive guys haven't had a chance to be around him. So being that same guy he was for us as an offense, that second half of the year, and getting around those defensive guys, getting to know them, making sure that they can trust him and just, you know, believe in what we're doing. You know, we're not going to have it all figured out right now, but come September, we're going to be ready to go.
Myles, what are your first impressions of Steve Wilks? What are your first impressions of Steve Wilks?
I think he knows what he's talking about. I mean, I think he's going to put us all in a great position. And, you know, I know he's fiery, he's passionate. And, you know, I'm not going to compare him to Greg because, you know, there's two different sides of the spectrum. But I know that, you know, he's amped up and, you know, we're already going through, you know, plays and scheme and things we're going to do, and our footwork and how practice is going to go individual, and he's ready to get on it. It's like we've never stopped. Like we're picking up like where we left off last year. Like he was the coach here, and so I'm really excited to play for him.
When I asked Freddie what you bring to the team, I thought it was interesting that he didn't go to stats or numbers. He said enthusiasm, passion, and what gets misconstrued is that how much you love the game. And I'm just wondering how important you consider those attributes of yours to be to your success and to your acclimating to a new team.
No, I think you're exactly right about that. Like, it's not, the numbers is nothing, because I don't feel like I put up my best numbers. So the people say numbers don't lie, but I think that they do. And what I want to bring to a team is the person that you know what I mean? That's what I want to bring to this team. Energy is all I bring. I work hard. We used to have practice where we're replaying the play. If we didn't get it right, if we didn't like the throw, we didn't like the play, like run that back. We need it again. So you're getting a guy who's going to give you everything he has on Sundays through the rest of the week as well. But I'm gonna lay it all on the line every single time I go out there Sunday. This is.
He's not any longer than anybody. What would you tell us about Odell?
What I tell you about him? I mean, he's a great person, first of all. Obviously, the player part of it, it takes care of itself, and we all know that, and we all see it. But his leadership, I know the competitive nature that he has inside of him, is different. It's very different, and he's gonna push myself. He's gonna push the room. He's gonna push a lot of guys on his team. He's gonna push Baker, being one of the more faster guys in the room. So you have to throw it out there a little further. But man, he's everything and more. He's everything and more. It's honestly an honor to have him back and have him in these colors, ready to do something special.
When you guys were dreaming of this and speaking this into existence, did the story end maybe not only with hoisting a Lombardi trophy, but with you guys in gold jackets not too far down the road?
804.
804 WCA. This is my guy. This is everything I ever dreamed of, and more. So I'm just really excited about the opportunity. I can't lie. I'm looking at it. I feel it, and I think this is the biggest blessing, in my entire life. Especially being able to be here for him. Like we used to call each other every single day, and I know that this life gets hard. We go through our ups and downs, and it's like I felt like I couldn't be there for him all the time, even if it's just by a phone call. And now I can really be there. I can be back in his life, and it's something I prayed for. And be careful what you wish for, because I got it.
You guys have a sense of the excitement that this has generated in Cleveland?
Honestly, I've seen it.
Well, I think I could tell by how many people are in this room. You guys didn't do this for us last year.
Yeah.
It's pretty obvious.
Yeah. Definitely, I could feel the excitement. And to that's why I'm saying to be a part of that is exciting for me, because it's like you want to be around guys who want to win, but you want to be around fans who want, this is. I can't even put it into words. I'm sorry. This is just a lot. It's a lot for the city of Cleveland. I feel like, like I said, we were in BR. It's a football town. I heard it's a football town. I'm looking forward to finding out.
Jarvis, not only are you guys together, but Adam Henry is part of this too. How do you guys complement each other, the three of you, and what does it mean to you to have not just you guys, but the three of you guys all together here?
Well, I mean, obviously, I think the thing that makes Adam so special, obviously, we've had our times together at LSU, but he's been part of the recruiting process from when we were in high school and things like that. So he knows a lot about, our lives, inside and out. And I would say, I think there's these things, I guess you can call trigger points, that, makes us reflect on the time that that motivates us, to go harder, to do more. And he knows all of them. You know, so pretty much he got the leash on the dogs, and you just got to let them go, you know.
Let them go.
Your own expectations. Did your expectations change when Odell got traded?
Absolutely. You know what? And my expectations were changing, you know what, drastically. You know, we absolutely not satisfied with how last year ended by any means. And then, you know, you start to, you know, realize what jump you want to make from year 1 to year 2. And for me, it's really important for people to realize that it's not just a fluke season. Like, this is real. I want to improve. I'm not satisfied with setting one record. I want to win Super Bowls. I want to do a lot more. And that's why you combine that with guys like these guys that talk about legacy and leaving, you know, something behind them they could be proud of and look back on. And that's about setting your own expectations. And so, yeah, they keep increasing. The more talent I have around me, it's going to make my job a lot easier, but that means I have to work that much harder for it.
The night that the trade went down, there were some reports about you wanting to restructure your contract here, and I just wanted to give you the chance to set the record straight about it.
Huh? What did you say?
I said...
yeah, I don't know about the contract. Honestly, it's not on my mind right now. I'm here, I'm present today. Just take it a day at a time. You know, whatever the plans are is the plans. So we'll see.
So, Odell, can we give you set the record straight of who's the better one-handed catcher and how that all came about?
Like I told you, he started this. This is the reason this all happened is because of him. You know, we would sneak into the facility at midnight, go shoot jugs till 2 in the morning. We'd be like, let's go outside and talk. We'd go throw. We'd be sitting right outside our room, throwing the football back and forth, playing 20, 21, or whatever you want to call it. Him throwing the ball as hard as he can at me, and just got to catch it. Yeah. The worst throws possible, got to catch it. But all the one-hand stuff came from him. Yeah. He started this.
It's both of us. It's both of us.
When you
have LSU, that stuff going.
We got 2 more. We're going to go
Yes,
Tony,
sir.
and then we're going to go Mary Kay. Tony ain't got enough. Go ahead, Mary Kay.
Okay, Baker, when you look back to you guys, you know, we saw the pictures of you guys.
Happy about that.
When you look back to you guys working out together last year, taking pictures together at USC, and then, you know, recently you dined with Odell and all that kind of stuff. When you guys were together last year, was this talked about, dreamed about? Did it come up? Did you hope against?
I absolutely would hope for that. I wouldn't necessarily say that we talked about it too much. You know, thought about it. You know, throwing to him and, you know, just running routes on air and realizing the potential and all the talent that he has. It's unique. Not many are able to do it, and so then you put together 2 LSU Tigers next to each other, and it's a dangerous duo. And so it's going to be a lot of fun, but yeah, it's something you can only dream about.
Well, obviously, you're on LeBron on the show with LeBron on HBO, and there's some interaction on social media after the trade. Have you, or will you, kind of pick his brain about?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I asked him if I could borrow the house, but he says it's too big for me to stay there by myself. So I was just, you know, trying to get, you know, my bearings straight and see what's what. You know, this is his home. So he gave me a little bit of advice every, you know, here and there. He just said, "You're gonna love it." He was like, "You're gonna love Cleveland." I was like, "I can't wait." And that's like my idol. So it's like, you know, that's the person I looked up to the most. And that's my guy. And like to see what he did to bring a championship here. I just want to be able to do that same thing.
All right, we're going to pose for a couple quick photos. Odell, you want to hold up your jersey?
Which camera are we looking at? I have no idea. I was looking at the picture in the back there, in the back. You just gotta stay on a blank screen. Right. Go ahead with your moves.
Now Odell's mom's going to come and pose.